Welcome, everyone. I'm Michael Krieger with One Data Source here with Mark Reese, our One Pay Payments guru. Would you mind, Mark, just touching upon the kind of spend analysis aspect of a modern kind of digital payments platform and what that looks like?
We ask for what's called a supplier list. So they can give us a list of all the suppliers that they've spent with in the last year, ideally the amounts and their addresses. We can extrapolate a lot of information from that list. So we simply take that list. We have full access to the Visa database. We run on the Visa rails, so we bump it up against Visa. Visa tells us, who is accepting today. They have a low, medium, high from a confidence perspective. So if it's a high match, it's the name of the company, the address, the zip, all match. So we know that they're openly accepting, Visa today. If it's medium, it hits two of those. If it's low, it's one of those. And then we also take it a step further and bump it up against our internal system that has roughly 84,000 suppliers in it. So those are ones that we are paying today through platform, numerous other buyers that are utilizing it. So, it gives a fairly decent confidence match to the buyer on what we realistically think we can get moved over to an electronic form of payment. And so the supplier analysis is very important. If we can't match anybody, if you give us a list and we can't match anybody, then we just don't move forward. But Visa, being Visa, their goal is to just simply move money and data. And Visa grows their B2B acceptance 12+% every year. So more and more, it's really not a matter of if your suppliers are going to accept, it's when. And it might not be now, but we call them again in a year from now. And it's not a set it and forget it type situation. It's something that we consult with on a at least annual basis. And if you give us 100 suppliers today, we enroll 30 of them. In a year from now, we call the 70 that said no, we don't accept Visa. Statistically, we'll get 8 to 12 of those that will have changed over the last year because they simply want to get paid quicker. We can pay 10,000 invoices on one payment with line item detail, as much data as they want. Like with an ACH, there's only 60 characters of data. With a check, it's the check stock information that they're going to receive. It's going to be manual. So on the card platform, the commercial card platform, Visa Commercial, it's as much information that the buyer and suppliers want to exchange back and forth. So it- the supplier is getting paid quickly. The buyer is getting that reconciliation file back into their ERP system to easily reconcile that information.
What are some key benefits for the customer of being able to do this that are pretty tangible, for their organization?
So it's utilizing all of our forms of payment, which we have 7 different types of, but it's utilizing those forms to push those payables out as much as possible. So if a supplier doesn't want to take a straight through processing or card program or ACH, let's push that check out 45 or 60 days. Hold that money, especially in today's interest rates environment. If you can hold, $1 million for 45 days, interest rates are where they are. So that is why suppliers are willing to take a digitized form of payment, a digital form of payment quicker because they want to get paid quickly. So we're able to utilize all of our payment modalities to negotiate better terms.
Is there anything else that you want to touch upon?
Getting us a supplier list, it takes less than 5 minutes, right? For any business to pull a supplier list, no matter their ERP, if it's QuickBooks, Sage, Microsoft Dynamics, whatever it is, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to get us that information. We then take that file, we look at Visa, we look at our internal database, we come back to you and we say, this is what we reasonably expect that we can enroll in our platform. Then, assuming you say yes, we start a campaign, and that campaign can be very soft, very passive. It can be moderate, or it can be aggressive. We start with an email to all of your suppliers. You approve the email. We send an email to all your suppliers that you want us to. If you want to pull any strategic ones out, feel free to do that. We like to think of ourselves as a fintech, but there's some manual work that goes into our supplier enablement where we actually do get on the phone and we call those suppliers on your behalf with your provided talk tracks. And, we're calling on behalf of the company and trying to enroll suppliers to accept virtual card or straight through processing or proxy payments or ACH plus or BPay, one of our 7 forms. So, we will call them up to 5 times on your behalf, and we do not charge for it. So we do have a lot of expense up front because our goal is that you give us 100 suppliers, our goal is to get at least 30 of them on our platform, and then the rest on ACH, and then ideally a very select, few on check. We want to eliminate check. We realize it's not going to go away, but it's going to be there. But our goal is to move it to either virtual cards or ACH rails, and so we do that. And it does take some time. Again, it can take 3 to 6 weeks to do all of that, depending on how many suppliers you have. But as we're doing that, we're checking them off in our platform, and our platform houses how these suppliers are paid. So if a supplier accepts a virtual card for 5,000 and above that they want an ACH, we'll do both. We'll pay them a virtual card up to 5, the rest on ACH. If it's a threshold and it's above a certain amount and they want an ACH, we can do that. But our platform houses how these suppliers are paid. Many take all forms of payment. And suppliers generally want to get paid a little bit quicker if they're taking a virtual card. So, and we'll walk through that with you on a weekly basis, who we've called, um, who is going to charge a fee, who openly accepts no fees, who prefers ACH, and so on. So you'll have full visibility into all of your suppliers, and as we're doing these campaigns.
Do you see kind of like AP teams really pursuing this, or this is really truly like, uh, you know, a strong benefit of kind of, you know, moving to not only moving to a modern payment platform, but in terms of kind of the process and our approach with suppliers?
I see it all ways. I mean, I see AP teams trying to do this. Again, if you want, lean on us. It's free. We pay for it, and our professionals that are supplier enablement, that's their job. Every day they make at least 70 dials on behalf of our buyers to pay suppliers. So that's what they do, and they negotiate terms. The best scenarios that we run into is when we have a fully engaged AP department. They proactively send out emails saying, "Hey, we are moving to a more secure form of payment. Be expecting the call from Mark or whomever." And that's if that is proactively sent out to suppliers, then we call on behalf of the buyer and we can enroll them very well. I just want to reiterate from a supplier enablement side, from an analysis side, again, it's a very low lift for any buyer out there to send us a supplier list, and we can bump it up and we can give you an idea of what you can expect. And, again, if we can't enroll anybody, don't do it. No harm, no
Yeah.
foul, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time talking about supplier enablement campaigns today. So thanks very much, Mark.